Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Justin Rayleigh back here with the closer, and it's a video pod for those of you that are on YouTube. I've got Matt and Will with me. Guys, what's going on?
What's going on, Justin?
For all of you
First
that are,
video podcast, excited.
this is going to be interesting for sure. For those of
Nice.
you not on YouTube, you're getting the normal podcast. You're just going to hear it a little differently because we're talking to one another actually face to camera.
Is it still a podcast if it's a video, or is this a video show now?
It can work as both because it goes both ways. We've got a video pod. We've got an audio pod. You're getting the best of both worlds.
Justin, it's nice to see you with a Braves shirt on. I wouldn't have expected anything less.
I almost put on the Acuna jersey.
Damn, I would have liked that a lot more.
So, but I just decided to go subtle with the Brave shirt first, work our way up.
You're not freak people out with your
Yeah, I don't
intense fandom.
Go all Jared Carabas on them.
It's a pretty
So-
sweet mic you got there, Justin, too.
Appreciate
I like
that. A little bit of money there, so I don't
All right,
sound
let's
like
talk-
complete
let's talk some
butter.
business. Let's get into it.
Let's talk some baseball here. Kyler Murray. I guess we can start off with a little bit of that. Expected to go into the NFL draft. What do y'all think?
Not
about
only that, but he could go number one
No chance.
because just hear me.
We're going different sports, but no chance.
I know. I'm just saying because Cliff Kingsbury, Cardinals GM or head coach now,
That'd just be stupid.
he
We're
said
not gonna
that
argue football.
he would draft Kyler Murray as number one. But I'm just saying, like, regardless, if Kyler Murray was to enter the NFL draft, he could make a pretty penny with isn't there bonuses for top draft
Didn't he
picks
just
in
say, like,
football?
Dummy didn't say he would pick him number one?
No, he said he would draft him first overall.
That'd be so
But-
stupid.
He's got Josh Rosen.
I don't know, Josh Rosen sucked.
That'd be really dumb.
but
I guess a new regime. But yeah, I think he has a better future, like long-term future in baseball, because I don't believe in Kyler Murray as a quarterback. And that's different, even though it's a baseball podcast. It matters because we're talking
It
about
does
all this.
matter.
So, but I have a kind of a unique angle on this. I feel like because I grew up watching Pat Connaughton, the two-sport ND star, and he was always a better baseball player. Like going in, everyone thought he was going to be actually like a good MLB pitcher, and he followed his dream. He always wanted to be a basketball player. He liked basketball more, and I feel like that's the same with Kyler Murray. You can't hate on him for following his dream. Like he just played on the biggest stage before you can play in professional sports. Why would he go and play minor league baseball? It'd be like now Tim Tebow like plays minor league baseball, and people, even though he's such a big story, people forget about him. So I don't know. I think Kyler Murray could get hurt and not make as much money or something, but at least if Matt's saying he's going number one overall, he's probably at least
I'm not saying he will. I'm just
he's,
saying
he's still at least like a high draft pick and
top
makes
five
money.
pick. Yeah,
So I don't know, a top five guaranteed, but like he's gonna be one of the top. A lot of people are saying after Dwayne Haskins or Ohio State, he's up there. So he's got to at least think about it, especially since like because of the high profile guy he is. I think he likes football more.
and also I think baseball, it's such a grind to make it to the major leagues.
Yeah,
I mean,
you never know.
And it's such a crapshoot. Even like when you're drafted high in the first round, there's no guarantee that you're going to turn out to be a great baseball player. So he's got to start with single A and then go up to double A, triple A if he has to, and then kind of make his way onto the big league roster. Whereas football, if he's drafted in a top 10 position on a team that like needs a quarterback and could eventually get the starting position in the first season that he plays. So, I mean, yeah, there's obviously more risk. But who's to say that he can't fall back on baseball if his football career doesn't work, you know?
Well,
So
I think
just sucks for the Athletics, that's for sure.
it
'Cause
definitely sucks for the A's because they just wasted a draft pick.
Yep. 9th overall.
But they will get a compensation pick in the round next year, and they'll probably like the Braves didn't sign Carter Stewart, their ninth pick or eighth pick last year, so they got the ninth pick in this year's MLB draft. They'll get a pick for him, but it still kind of sucks. My opinion, I think he should play baseball. Just how I feel. That's a lot of guaranteed money in the MLB. Just getting drafted, he gets guaranteed money. Now he's got to forfeit over his signing bonus. I think that
He's got to send the money back.
yeah.
They already bonus.
Yeah.
And he has to basically write a check back to the Athletics.
I believe
which kind of
it
stinks if you're-
was
that's
how
funny.
much was it? It was a pretty hefty. I just want to say it was. Let's see, Kyle. Let me find that out.
Like 100,000 or something.
It was way more than that.
Hundreds of thousands.
It was more than that.
But he's going into it now, and he's such a high profile guy that whatever he picks, it's not like he's pretty good at both of them. So whichever he picks, he's got to stick with. Especially the NFL, you can't go from baseball to the NFL. And if you come back and you go into the NFL and as a first round pick, they're going to expect you to be there for the time being. So he's got to pick one or the other, and he's picking it for the foreseeable future.
His signing bonus was $4.6 million
Jesus.
that he's got to give back. It's like
make-
all he has to do is play one game, and he gets that money. If he goes to the NFL, let's say he gets drafted, he signs, he plays his first game in preseason, tears his leg up, can't play ever again, he gets no money.
Yeah.
I just think, I mean, obviously it's not all about the money, and it may be what he loves best, and that's cool. That's perfectly cool. I'm just saying, he is throwing away a lot of money, guaranteed money.
Yeah.
And I think that obviously, like Matt said, it's a long way up to the big leagues. I mean, not just single A, triple A, or single A, double A, triple A. It's instructional league, rookie ball, high A, or low A, high A.
One game, is that one game in the big leagues or one game period?
Once he steps foot in the A's organization spring training, he's fine. I'm sure his contract has that somewhere written out. Well, what he has to do, but for the most part, once you step foot on that field, you're good. But
I know this is not like a crazy take either way, but I think whatever he decides, you can understand.
Yeah, for sure. I just think like it's a long road to the majors, but I was saying he is going to have an easier road to the big leagues than most because he's a center fielder, or he's an outfielder. He can fly.
He's fun to watch in the outfield
All
too.
he's got to do is hit 250, and they'll bring him up to the big leagues at some point within the next few years.
And he's marketable too. He's the Heisman Trophy winner.
Just because he can run a little bit, that's super good to have on the big league level. I mean, look at Billy Hamilton. He can't hit the broadside of a barn, but he can run, so he's in the big leagues.
Byron Buxton.
Yeah, dude, he's even worse.
There's a lot of those speedy defensive outfielders that kind of suck at hitting, but just make their way to the big leagues through their defense.
Exactly.
And call me crazy, but he is like almost as fast as those guys too, especially Billy Hamilton. If he ran a 40, what do you think he'd run? He's gonna run it because of the pros. What?
I don't know. I really don't. I'm sure I see the dude can run.
Probably like a 4.3. That's how fast this dude is.
I'd say
on the baseball diamond.
Without football pads, without anything like that. So.
Yeah. All right. Well, there's our Kyler Murray take. Let's move on to a couple of signings here. Let's go. Let's start off. The Phillies signed David Robertson, 2 years, $23 million. Pretty good chunk of change, but that's a pretty solid reliever to have out the back of their bullpen. They could kind of bring him in. I mean, he is a closer type, but he doesn't have to be used as a closer. They could bring him in whenever he wants or whenever they need him.
Yeah,
I like it.
I like the deal for the Phillies. It kind of sucks. I was kind of hoping the Red Sox were going to sign David Robertson. I mean, that's like kind of a perfect deal, like 2 years for like a closer that's kind of up there in age. Like you're not committed to him long term, like Craig Kimbrell would have wanted. But yeah, no, he's a elite closer. He has, I think, like the most saves over the past like 4 years or something like that. So he's pretty nasty. And for a team that's trying to contend and win the Super Bowl, or not the Super Bowl, I'm in football mode, win the World Series in the next like 2 years, I think that's a pretty key addition.
Yeah, with the way you talk about the Phillies, you probably think they could win the Super Bowl.
What?
With the way
series?
Free agency's not over yet. There's always Bryce Harper, Manny Machado. You know,
but Justin, we talked about this last podcast we did about how if the Phillies can't get one of those two guys, they might as well. Like, this is a smart move. It's low risk, really, and you know he's going to be at least like a good reliever. He's not going to be like, I don't think he's like the best closer in the game, but he's up there for sure. Yeah. And I guess to echo what Matt said, I also wish the Red Sox had got him. He would have been a nice. And he was better than Craig Kimbrell's been. Like every time Craig Kimbrell goes to the mound, I know it's a separate topic, but he scares me, man. And David, he does. There was one point in the ALCS where I was saying, get him out of the game. Get him out. So I think it's a smart move, savvy move.
All right, I like it. I mean, it's like you said, it's low risk, but he's a guy they can bring in whenever they want to. So I like it a lot. I want to see if he will work as a closer, though. That's a possibility. I also have a. We can go ahead. Actually, no, we'll get back to it. I have a wild prediction to throw in about the Phillies, and but we'll get to that. So the next thing, we'll go Zach Britton, 3 years, $39 million to the Yankees. That was last week. Listen to this contract. I actually screenshotted this because it was kind of a funky deal he signed. So it's 3 years, $39 million. He's got a fourth-year option. After year 2, the Yankees can add a fourth year at $14 million, or Britton can opt out and be a free agent. So he's got a chance to make $53 million out of this deal, or opt out and see if he can make some more money.
I don't love this deal as much. I mean, 3 years is a lot to give to a guy that's kind of on the downslide.
Definitely on the downside.
So his numbers like last year compared to, or like 2 years ago compared to now, it's just a steady decline. And when he was pitching against like the Red Sox in the playoffs,
Shit his pants.
yeah, he sucked. He just kept choking. So.
But I mean, you can't. The Yankees are definitely in. I think they have a good future, but they're trying to win right now too, and they're trying to pace themselves with the Red Sox. The worst thing that could happen to the Yankees is the Red Sox outpace them for a few years and possibly win another World Series. Then the Red Sox have real recency. All the Yankees really have is, we won 27 championships all those years ago. I think the Yankees, I wouldn't say it's a panic move, but the Yankees are really trying to win right now, so I don't really see it as that bad of a move. I think it's similar to Robertson, and like you said, Justin, Robertson hasn't really proven himself as a closer. I think he'll be one of the better closers, just like based on his relief history. But I think Britton has proven himself to be an elite closer, and I think he's still going to be really good. I think this is just emblematic of the Yankees trying to win right now, though.
Yeah, I heard something today. I listened to the Barstool podcast 39, and they're talking about Zach Britton before last year. Yeah, before last year. The percentage of his fastballs over 95 miles an hour was 97%. So 97% of his fastballs were over 95 miles an hour. Last year, that dropped down to 44%.
Yeah.
That's
isn't
like
he
to see a
like a
deal.
two-seam fastball guy, right? Isn't that his
Sinker,
his
fastball, sinker, two-seam?
Is sinker his go-to strikeout pitch?
I think so.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you don't have a high fastball, it's hard to, like, if you've relied on a really fast fastball for so many years.
The Yankees have a ton of cap, though, too. Or not cap, I guess. They just have money.
Yeah. I don't know.
So
I'd like to see a 1 year, 2 year deal maybe, but screw the Yankees for all I care.
Yeah.
So moving right along, Kelvin Herrera, 2 year, $26 million with the White Sox.
Right. White Sox win now mode.
Yeah.
It's another team.
They're
I
into
feel like
that.
the White Sox, they get Machado. They suddenly, another guy I've been saying for a while now, you pair him with Eloy Jimenez, who I feel like should have gotten called up last year. Especially, I can understand the Toronto Blue Jays not wanting to start Vlad Guerrero because there's so much hype about him. But Eloy Jimenez, they were out of it. They should have just called him up, let him play. And I think if Yoan Moncada can turn it around too, you start to see a team that could win a division that we've talked about all offseason that's not really that good.
Pretty wide open.
So, I like that move too. Low risk. I don't completely trust the guy, but good reliever.
Yeah. He's going to be moving into the closer role. He's a pretty good reliever, pretty good closer. I think it's going to work good for him, but they're definitely throwing around some money, trying to win now, which brings me to John Jay signing with the White Sox for 1 year, $4 million. You're probably thinking, what the heck does this deal matter? John Jay, Yonder Alonso, and Manny Machado all work out together every offseason in Miami, which further proves my point that Manny Machado is going to sign with the White Sox.
My point too, Justin. Give me some credit here.
Yes, me and Matt had this. Will was like, oh, no, he's not signing there. we're going to be right.
It seemed like a low-profile move, you know.
The White Sox are trying to win now, enticing Manny Machado to come to Chicago. For all we know, Manny Machado's freaking wife is going to sign a deal with the White Sox here coming soon.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like Manny Machado. It's like the White Sox too are a back pages team of like they're not going to get coverage in the Tribune and the Chicago media. Like I don't know. When I went to the Chicago White Sox stadium, it felt very like the fans were disinterested, sort of.
They've been pretty irrelevant for
The South Side.
like
No,
11,
I went
years.
like 2008. They won the World Series in
Yeah.
2006.
That team was really good. Like that was
2006. Yeah, Jim Thome and
AJ
Mark Burley.
Brzezinski was a beast
AJ.
behind the plate. So let's see where do we want to go to next. Let's go Yasmani Grandal, 1 year, $18.25 million to the Brewers.
a lot of cash, dude.
That's a lot of cash. That's more than the qualifying offer he would have got. More than the where was it? He was also offered a 4-year. Crap, I can't even find it now. He was offered like a $60 million deal with the Mets, and he didn't take it.
he was god awful in the playoffs too.
Yeah, he was. He was really bad.
Yeah,
But he's still a pretty solid catcher. I mean, he's still swinging
No,
the bat.
he's a good catcher, but I just remember
Didn't
in the
they?
playoffs.
Didn't they just sub him out though? They didn't really let him get that much rhythm. He didn't play every game.
Yeah, but I just remember them talking about in the playoffs how his like upcoming contract, he was going to lose out on some money because of how badly he played defensively and offensively in the playoffs. But I guess teams, I mean, the catcher is a pretty high
he had
demand
such a good
position.
regular season that it was like they were just
Yeah,
like
it was just like the recency bias. Like the last thing that was on your mind about Grandal was his like bad performance in the playoffs. But yeah, 18 million. I think it's a good deal because they had no production out of their catcher position last year. So then to go from basically nothing to Yasmani Grandal, I think it's a good move, especially because that division's like getting more and more competitive.
yeah. They gotta pace themselves for sure.
Like if they want to keep winning that division, they're gonna have to make some serious moves, especially in the pitching end.
Absolutely. I still
I
think they
think
need starting
They
pitching,
got no chance.
which we'll get to. Actually, we'll get to give Matt another chance to brag a little bit here. Brian Dozier, 1 year, $9 million with the Nats. Dozier's a guy who had a pretty crappy year last year, but last year was also the first year he'd ever been on the DL, and back in Minnesota, the dude could rake. So it's
I like
interesting to
this movie.
see if he can get back to himself. What do you think?
Yeah, he's like 2 years removed from a 40 homer season.
Yeah,
So, I mean, I think it's a pretty good move. I mean, you just have a down year,
it's
get
definitely
him for a
like,
cheap one.
it's definitely not like they're risking anything huge here.
They're
exactly.
a team. I don't know how good they're gonna be yet. I know how they're gonna play. They're gonna use their bullpen, not their bullpen. Sorry, their starting pitching because they still have a really good starting pitching, especially with Corbin now, or not Corbin. Sorry, was it Corbin? Yeah, sorry,
Yeah.
Corbin. I'm confusing with someone else, but they got Corbin, Scherzer, Strasburg, hopefully healthy. So, I think that this is just another bat they can throw in there, assuming they do lose Bryce Harper.
Which,
They're
which
gonna need
lately has been,
Yeah.
he could resign as much as we're seeing lately.
maybe.
So
And if he does resign, that's even that puts the Nationals back in relevance in that division. I mean, I thought that they were kind of on the downside because you got like the Braves and the Phillies on the come up. So I thought the Nats were going to take a step back.
The Nats are ahead of the
But
Phillies.
yeah, now they got Corbin and now they got Dozier. So
That has just written the Phillies in as like a nasty team.
I'm
What have
just
they
like
done?
I'm speaking them into existence. I'm just trying
It's
to
a
like.
lot.
will-
It's a lot of faith to put in like Abdul
I was-
Herrera and like
I was pretty pissed that they signed McCutcheon. I hated that
J.P.
signing.
Crawford. Matt's a big fan of them.
Nah, they traded away Crawford. I'm pretty sure, didn't they?
No.
yeah, to the Mariners.
They got
Oh,
Gene
right,
Gene
yeah.
Segura.
Oh, great.
Hey, he was pretty nasty.
He had a
But
good year last year. He had a
I
great
had
year
him on my
last year.
fantasy team, but he sucked at the end of the year.
I just hate the Andrew McCutcheon signing. I just don't like it. He's too old, washed up. They're just paying the name. So
Yeah, I think they paid him too much, but they needed some help defensively, and he's going to give them that. But yeah, the Brian Dozier thing, dude. If he hits 25 homers, they'll be happy. So
yeah,
that's a good
they
deal.
don't need much. That's with that pitching staff. So
Jed Lowry, 2 year, $20 million with the Mets. Lowry is a guy who is consistently a really good hitter. I mean, he's not going to hit you a bunch of home runs, but he's going to get on base, get you a lot of hits consistently. He's a guy we were trying to get into the All-Star game last year who made an All-Star appearance. So the Mets are making moves. I like this deal personally.
I think the Mets are trying to sell tickets so that they can at least stay afloat and not just be terrible. All these like veteran guys who can play, no doubt, but they're not like future moves. I don't know what kind of a foundation they're building. I don't really get it.
Well, we're talking about a GM who was never a GM before. He was an agent. So I think Lowry's the good guy, like the good deal.
Yeah, every year in fantasy baseball, he has like a couple weeks where he like kind of rakes, and I always pick him up. He has like a week, and then I end up dropping him every single year.
The thing is,
and then I dropped him right after that too.
The thing that concerned me is he had they picked him up to play shortstop because obviously Cano's going to play second. Jed Lowry hasn't played shortstop. I think he's played once or twice in years. Let me pick it up.
But he's a utility guy. He can play almost any position.
He can do it all.
Yeah.
We'll see. So, but yeah, I mean, that's a lot of money though. $10 million a year. Whatever. The Mets are crap. So,
they give $10 million to Jed Lowry and $9 million to Brian Dozier.
It's pretty crazy if you think about that.
Yeah, that's.
But Dozier,
like the ceiling.
I guess they're thinking
is like night and day. Yeah.
Dozier just could have his crappy year last year. Is my only thought there. Let's go. Oh yeah, obviously I forgot to mention this. Troy Tulowitzki signing with the Yankees for a major league minimum.
We were talking about that a couple of podcasts ago. We were like throwing it out there because Didi's gonna be out for a while, right?
Yeah, Didi's out.
Yeah, so put Tulo in like a park with a short porch. Maybe he can get some of those like.
He is the epitome of a guy that was made in Colorado.
Yeah, I know, but like, what's the next best thing to Coors Field? It's
Yankee Stadium.
Yankee Stadium with like a 200-foot right field.
For sure.
So, hey, maybe he could put some numbers back up there.
Yeah, maybe we'll see. I don't know, man. I think he's done.
I like it. I like the move. Give him another chance.
There's no reason not to like it. It's not at risk at all.
Yeah. But what's the major league minimum?
$500K or $550.
Yeah, I like the move.
Yeah.
Why not?
And even if he doesn't pan out, they can cut him or trade him.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're wasting any kind of money. And it's the Yankees, so. Rumors. Mad Bum to the Brewers. Matt called that a while back.
Keep an eye on that. I think it's a great move. I think, like we were saying earlier, the Brewers, if they want to keep up in that division, they need to sign a marquee starter, and Bumgarner is the perfect candidate for that role. Put him in the number one spot on that team, who desperately needs a frontline starter. Because right now it's like Julius Chastain or something.
Yeah, Chastain, Chase Anderson.
Yeah. Like those are good 3-4 guys, but you get Bumgarner as your one, and then sign him to a couple years after that, after he hits free agency.
He's only like 29.
Yeah,
right?
no, he can be a cornerstone of that franchise for the foreseeable future. And then who knows, maybe next offseason sign like another.
Do you pay a pitcher or invest in a pitcher over almost 30 though? It's kind of a lot of GMs don't want to do that. And the thing
of his caliber, I would.
I think it's definitely the right move for the Giants. They shouldn't have him anymore. They got to rebuild, and they have a terrible farm system. So they should take what they can get. Well, not take what they could get. They should trade and get assets for him because he's a great player. But they desperately need to rebuild. My only concern with the Brewers is they want to keep pace, but a lot of small market teams don't invest heavily in pitchers, especially that age, because if it doesn't work, they just blow up their farm system and their next chance to be good again. Yeah. Their window might, I don't want to say it's closed, but
it could depend entirely on Bumgarner.
Exactly.
Like if they're investing in him, they have 100% faith in him. So
I mean that's up to whoever the GM is. If he wants, it's you can go either way.
I think that he will be traded, but I don't think it'll be to the deadline. I mean, you've got Farhan Zaidi coming from the Dodgers over to manage the front office for the Giants. If his first big move is to trade away their guy, that's throwing out a pretty bad sign to the fans in the Bay Area who are pretty hardcore fans saying, hey, we're just going to lose. I think
they got to realize eventually you got to restart this thing. The Giants.
I'm thinking they see where they are.
System. You gotta pick one way. You gotta direct your franchise somewhere. You can't just lead them aimlessly and just keep an old guy at the center of your organization. They have literally no pieces of their organization that I'm excited about. Besides,
I thought Pablo Sandoval was their guy.
Yeah, they have literally nothing as a franchise that makes me want to watch them.
I think they'll wait till May, June, July. One of those 3 months. See where they're at.
They might, but it's not the right move. You trade them now.
If my opinion, they should have traded him last year.
Mm.
But they didn't.
Yeah,
so
they kind of wasted the whole year of him.
Yeah, wasted. And it was a year. His arm pitched me.
He had a bad year.
Yeah,
they lost a lot. They could have gotten
a mediocre year.
They lost a lot. They could have gotten him by waiting so long to trade him.
Yeah.
I think he would still go for maybe a little bit less, but it's just at this point, him at 29 is way better than him at 30.
Yeah,
you should have got rid of him.
Brewers got a couple young pitchers that they can trade for him. I think there was two guys in their farm system, and one of the guys is in the bullpen. I think that they have been rumored in the trade market for Bumgarner.
Hey, speaking of bad farm systems. Phillies have a bad farm system. Just had to throw that out there for you, Matt.
It's all right, as long as they sign A.J. Pollock or something.
Hey, speaking of A.J. Pollock.
If they sign A.J.
Pollock, the Braves today.
I think it'll be a successful offseason.
A.J. Pollock was rumored to the Braves today, which would be pretty sweet. But honestly, this offseason, I don't believe a thing until it has been confirmed. Because it's somebody will tweet, A.J. Pollock is talking to the Braves today. And then someone else will tweet, A.J. Pollock is not talking to the Braves today. He's talking to this team. So I don't believe it until it's actually happened. That's the problem.
Would you want to see him on the Braves? Do you like him?
Yes. The only thing I worry about is he's not very durable. I mean, he's only played over 150 games, maybe once in his career, if any. I forgot what I said when I looked that up. I don't think he's ever played over 150 games in his career.
I think he played almost the whole year last year, but his production from the first half to the second half fell off a lot.
But he can play. I'd be okay. I mean, that's a pretty dirty outfit. Ronald Acuna Jr., Ender Inciarte, and A.J. Pollock. I'd be super happy with that.
You know what the problem is for baseball and trusting reporters is in football. When you're looking for football news, who do you look for? Adam Schefter, or I guess Ian Rappaport. Basketball, you look at Woj. Who do you look for? Who do you trust in baseball?
Well, baseball, you have all these.
Ken Rosenthal?
I like Ken Rosenthal.
I don't trust the guy. He's not a big name.
You have all the beat reporters for each team, so you can't everybody's throwing around crap. Basically, if it gets to Ken Rosenthal,
I'm not trusting anything until I hear it from Shefty.
Basketball,
I'm immediately searching Woj on Twitter. There's nothing for baseball. Ken Rosenthal's like that guy who wears the bow tie on the side of the games.
Yeah.
He's the only one that maybe has got some legitimacy. But here's the thing, is no one really knows. That's the problem. Another report, the Nationals apparently offered way over $300 million to Bryce Harper within the last 2 weeks. So, opinions on that?
You have to. You absolutely have to. And it's not just that Bryce Harper is worth it as a player. I was looking at his stats earlier today because I knew it would come up. And he obviously is well documented that he has a roller coaster of a career. If we look at his stats here, 2018, 249, 2017, 319. It's the odd years he had bats over 330. But he's a consistent power threat for one. And it's not even just what he's worth as a player. It's what he's worth, to the team. How much the team is worth, how much the brand is worth. Bryce Harper
he puts people in the seats.
He puts people is worth $300 million. And what else are you gonna spend? That's the other thing about this Machado Harper thing. Who else are you spending this money on? If you have the money, these are the best two free agents
that you're gonna see in a long time.
And you're gonna see in 5 years. This is like LeBron getting into free agency in like the decision type thing. It's just baseball's not as relevant as basketball is, so nobody's going to rent out an hour to announce their decision. But this is how big these guys are. Aside from Mike Trout,
Well, here's the thing.
or Mookie Betts, these are the guys. Like if you have the money, you gotta go all in.
Yeah, no. Well, here's the thing. I agree that the guy, there's never going to be another situation like this because, well, besides Acuna Jr. and Soto, those guys we don't even know how they're going to be. But age-wise,
Yeah.
Harper's what, 26?
These are the best of the generation. It's
Harper is
them and Mike
26. Trout
Yeah.
goes into free agency 2 years from now. He'll be 29. So he's not going to get the mega deal, like 10-year deal that Harper could get because he's going to be 29. You're not going to see very
Trout.
often.
Probably still would. But that's regardless of the point. No, I get what you mean. Keep going.
You're not going to see a guy who's 26 in the prime of his career, maybe not even his actual prime, coming into free agency, a superstar like that. Like the next one that could happen is Acuna
Mike
Jr.
Trout.
or Soto.
What about Mike
Or
Trout?
Vlad Guerrero.
What we're saying is he'll be 29 when he's in free agent. Harper's 26. Think about that.
Yeah.
Like that's insane.
I would probably a separate point. I'd probably still pay Mike Trout 10 years.
Yeah, because
Well, yeah,
you're
'cause
paying
he's
all
so
that money
good.
from like age 30 through 35 when he's still putting up those
And
numbers.
he's just that good.
And then you
But-
just deal with it for the last couple of years.
So I mean, it's crazy. Personally, in my own opinion, no human should get paid $300 million. But
Not
that's,
even Ronald Acuna.
Acuna deserves a freaking $1 billion if he has a year like last year.
It's a free market, Justin. You know those players they wouldn't do it if it wasn't profiting them. You know
Oh,
that's what
absolutely.
they value them at.
I think that I don't know, man. It's a once in a lifetime thing. The Nationals need to sign him purely because if they don't, less people will be in the stands.
They're a totally different team. It's like they become that pitching team. I don't want to say small ball because that's not who Dozier
They become
is.
like kind of the Mets.
But they become like a very they're gonna have to start to win games like 4-2, 3-1. Like
They
so.
become a team that relies on pitching.
Plus,
Which-
something to consider too is it's like they were talking about this when LeBron was leaving. It's these guys are human too. Like Bryce Harper's got his whole life in DC right now. It takes a decent amount. Like it takes a very solid push, especially since he doesn't seem to be enamored by really anybody. It's going to take a solid push for him to just restart his life pretty much and just pivot mid-career. So like if it's money that they're quabbling over, they're gonna cough it over. And I think them offering over $300 million is what you have to do in this situation.
Think about this for a second. If Harper doesn't re-sign with the Nationals, their big scary guy in the lineup is Juan Soto. Now Juan Soto is a great hitter, but he's 21. A kid is not going to be able to anchor a lineup, or so you say. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's a big kind of a different presence than a Bryce Harper who's been there for 7 years.
By the time the Nationals come back to a level where they can compete for a World Series, Scherzer will be too old.
Strasburg's arm could fall off.
Strasburg will have a ton of injuries and mileage on his arm. So then they'll have to, by the time that their batting catches up to their pitching, they're going to have to kind of reshape their whole roster. So
Yeah.
they're in kind of a tricky situation. Like
Think about what a
their window's closing
What
pretty
a
fast.
franchise, but it could just be a reopen, right? Like think about it. They still have such a talented roster. If they re-sign Harper, they pair him with Soto and
Yeah, then their
Trey
window's
Turner.
just as wide as it's ever been. So
yeah.
Yeah.
this is a
I like Rendon too. Like they're a solid team without him, but he's just like the guy. He's got to be there.
This is a huge swing for the future of the Nationals franchise. Like, are they going to become an irrelevant team like the Mets that are stuck in limbo forever?
I still don't think they're relevant. I think they're better than the Phillies without Harper, but they got like more good players. But
yeah, but their trajectory is pretty bad.
The
in a
Phillies-
few years, probably.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Their Philly stock is going up, but the Nats
Harper is
stock.
supposed to meet with the Phillies this weekend.
Yeah, the only part about that is Philadelphia is kind of it sucks as a city. Apparently, he didn't like it, or not him. Machado. Machado didn't like Philadelphia as a city.
Machado's
Machado's a
bitch,
punk.
Yeah,
I hate Machado.
but even Machado doesn't like a punk city like Philadelphia.
Machado
I don't know, it kinda-
is the epitome of what a Yankee is,
Yeah,
or a Dodger.
it's just
I think
it's just
Sorry,
not a
not
good-
sorry to all you Yankee and Dodger fans listening if you're listening.
it's just not a good sign that a free agent is turned away from a team because he doesn't like the city.
I mean,
So
it's more than just playing for a team. You're living in a city.
Exactly.
It's recruiting.
I mean, come to Atlanta. Not you, Machado. You can stay far away from Atlanta. Harper, come to Atlanta. It's a great place. Great place. SunTrust Park is beautiful.
Have you been to Atlanta?
Plenty of times. SunTrust is amazing. It is awesome. Well, that's about all I got for the show tonight. Do y'all have anything else before we wrap it up? Anything? Quick thoughts? Final thoughts?
Nah, let's do the rapid fire segment next week.
High heat next week for sure.
People,
High heat. What
We'll
was
get
it
some
calling that?
ready.
Matt, I don't think you know about that because you haven't been here.
Yeah, no, we did. I did the first time that we did that.
Yeah, you
that
did.
segment.
All
What do you
right.
think of the name High Heat?
I like it. It goes along with the logo.
It does. You like that?
You getting shirts coming out anytime soon?
Decals are in the process.
Decals.
Decals are in the process. Shirts I'm still working on. I got to figure out how it's going to
I
be.
saw that the logo it said the closer with Justin Raley.
I've got a couple logos in the
Kind of
works.
selfish there, Justin. Not putting us on the shirts at all.
I'm working
Put us
on
in,
it.
put us at least in fine print on the back or something.
I'll work on it. I've got a friend that went to high school with me. She designs them. I kind of tell her the idea. Basically, the first logo I said, hey, could you do something like a baseball in flames and write the closer on it or somewhere in it? So she came up with that. I thought it was pretty good. But yeah, I'm thinking decals are for sure soon. Hopefully shirts are in the making. I just gotta have to think of some cool design ideas. So
Absolutely.
decals first. I'll be sure to ship them on out to old northern areas.
Yep, sounds good, Justin.
All right, guys. Appreciate y'all coming on. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll have a Machado and Harper signing to talk about like we've been saying every week.
I love this video thing, though.
Yeah, hopefully this thing will keep working out. But thanks everybody for listening to The Closer. We'll catch you guys next week. Peace.